in terms of individuals who are going through a particularly difficult time, it can be, they can choose for it to be a very fear-driven time, time of redundancy, time of insecurity, a lot of emotional pain with redundancies, with losing very close networks within the business, and people, wondering what's the meaning of all this, what's this for, and if they wanted to connect with more meaning and purpose through their work, in order to find a way to help them through this painful time, what would you suggest they could do at this time?
All right. First, I would regard this time as a painful time, rather like a caterpillar that's in a cocoon, that's shut up in the cocoon and needs to break through that to become a butterfly. So it is a painful time, and not be distressed about it being painful. But as someone said, pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. We don't actually have to suffer because it's painful. It's simply painful. Yeah. Right. Secondly, I would have a very clear vision of where I want to be, of how I want this, if I accept this company or this organisation as it is, what's my highest vision for it? How do I truly want it to be? What would be the core values I want to see expressed in this company? And then I would be the change. I would live it. I would be it. So if my vision is, and I worked with a tyre company once, for this company to be fun, but at the time it wasn't fun at all because everyone was sort of snarled up, then I would go in and enjoy and bring fun. But the thing is to be and bring, the very thing that you want to receive is actually, the important thing is for you to give it. So if, say, you're in a company which is being very cautious and you just wish it would be more creative, then be creative. Start writing memos in different ways. Start making your telephone calls in different ways. Bring in your creativity. So I would be very clear on my values and vision, and then step into that. I would acknowledge the present pain and just be honest about that. I would draw on this wonderful tool of stillness, which can really relieve people of so much distress and stress, and teach them a very simple 30-second way of becoming still. Because the thing about stillness is that you have stimulus and you have response. And if we act in the old way, we get a stimulus, we get a stroppy email, and we fire back an answer. But if we use stillness, we get the stimulus, then we go into stillness. In the stillness, we can tap into our creativity. In the stillness, we regain a sense of perspective and what's important to us. And in the stillness, we find a new response that creates something that wasn't there before. And that's when an organisation comes to life. There are a whole range of tools that people can use, but time and time again people have said to me the one that helped them through the change the most powerfully was stillness. In a very busy sales room where people would get stroppy phone calls from customers saying, why hasn't this arrived? Just remembering as they put the phone down to take a moment's stillness before getting back on the phone. So you don't carry the other person's aggression and anger, you carry your own sense of well-being. I think that is one of the biggest tools. The other tool I think that can help an individual, and this just helps so much, is to have the tool of celebration. So to just, right now where you are, just stop and think, what is it that I can be grateful for? What are the things that I appreciate around me right now? Or think about a colleague and just sit down and think of 10 things that you really value about that colleague. Perhaps think about a manager who's really getting up your nose, taking some stillness and thinking, but what do I appreciate about them? Because the wonderful thing is, it's actually impossible to both be appreciative and suffering. The two can't coexist.
No, you're right.
So if you're having a tough time and you're feeling really miserable, or, oh no, it's Monday morning, just take a moment and think, what's delighted me in the last 24 hours? Or what are the qualities of that colleague that I appreciate? And immediately you've shifted and changed the energy. And I think what's really going to help individuals get through this time is being able to tap into their energy, their enthusiasm, their engagement, because when they do that, then they become part of something that's exciting, that brings out the best in them, that brings them alive. And as soon as you're alive, then you're nourished. It's what we're here to be.
Absolutely.
Alive, not half dead. These are good times for people.
Thank you. Thank you so much. There are some nuggets of wisdom in there, and I'm sure that the listeners will have got value from that and benefit from listening to it. And ultimately it's about starting where you're at. I also feel starting with what you know, step out on what you know to be true, and feel it, and to be gentle with yourself as well. And don't use this process as another tool to beat yourself up with because you're not doing it right.
No.
I think it's really important for people to be gentle with themselves and with others during this time, because as you said, it's a painful time, but it doesn't necessarily have to mean suffering.
It's a time when we need a lot of kindness for each other.
Yes. Yes. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.